we're supplying Russia's enemy, essentially. We're at war.
And funding the whole thing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we're supporting them. Like, you're fucking funding them.
Definitely.
Like, come on, we're at war. Did you see that one?
Emergency.
Did you see that post by Tucker Carlson the other day on Twitter?
Which one? What is that?
So there's a lot of. So this might be another. You can also cut this up too, Connor, into another post. There's a lot of chatter. You know, I called you the other day, and you're like, "I'm out to dinner right now. Send me a text message."
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. Normal thing
I didn't
to
even
do.
fucking text you back. I'm like, this motherfucker. So, anyways,
What do you want me to do?
Whatever, man. So Tucker Carlson. Actually, a little more context. I've been seeing a lot of chatter about more lockdowns coming up. Have you seen this?
Yep. Mandates.
Okay. Yeah, mandates, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like California is like already, doing this shit. I'm hearing a lot of talk about, the hospitals are going to be putting a mask mandate again.
New variants. Blah, blah,
New
blah.
variant, all that bullshit, right? So Tucker Carlson said they're not going to shut shit down again. They can't. The cat's out of the bag. All this stuff didn't work the first time. The vaccines didn't work. The cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows now.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
What he said is we will very well be in a hot war with Russia. And that's how they're going to gain control of this entire situation. Yeah, and it was a very interesting clip. Obviously, he's probably in the know now, right? Well, not even now, but he's been in the know, right? Working so long and, high up in Fox or whatever. And, at the end of the day, you have to respect the position that he's in. It's Tucker Carlson, right? He rubs shoulders with probably some pretty powerful people. And it was a really interesting perspective because that's the perfect, like you were saying, that's the perfect guys in order to gain control of a significant amount of the population.
I'm trying to think of how that would play out.
He breaks it down, but it was very, very...
It could certainly be the threat of nuclear war because they're the biggest nuclear
well, think about it.
country in the world.
Play this out, right? So all of a sudden we go to war, right? I don't know if the elections are postponed. You can't. Can you have an election during like when you're in a fucking hot war with another country, a nuclear powered,
They have the most
country,
troops
yeah,
of all, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can you actually put that forth? Can you postpone certain things if that's actually going on? He breaks it down. I'm not even going to try to get into it, but he mentioned because the cat's out of the bag with the whole COVID situation, they're still trying to push this whole narrative. He's like, it ain't going to work. People are onto it. It doesn't work. Not happening. The other thing that happens is you go into a fucking hot war. You got to think, like, the U.S. we're pretty much at war. It's just cold. We're supplying Russia's enemy, essentially. We're at war.
And funding the whole thing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we're supporting them. Like, you're fucking funding them.
Definitely.
Come on. We're at war. Like, we're already at war. But what he's talking about is full-fledged fucking war. Where...
That would be very unpopular. That'd be very unpopular. I'm not saying it's not possible.
I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it was a very interesting... look into certain things to come. He said it would absolutely push our economy into a massive recession, just like World War I, essentially. And then after, we went into the Great Depression. It would potentially catapult the whole narrative of what we're talking about.
Complete control
extremely quickly, right? Without having really, how do you, right?
You bypass every law. You bypass
exactly. It's war, and that's kind of what he started to get into. I believe is you pretty much during wartime, the country can kind of do whatever they want in order to secure the country, keep their population safe. You know what I'm saying? They could do whatever they want during times like that. It makes sense. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend to know I know the deep state as well as he does, but he was talking some serious shit, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't know what to make of it.
Right. The point, I think the bigger point is we don't know what the emergency is going to be. Mm-hmm. We just know that eventually there's going to be an emergency that is used and abused to seize more control and more authority than ever before.
It sure seems that way.
Yeah. And I agree that the COVID thing, I think the reason that they're pumping it, in my opinion, right now, I agree, it's not going to work. If they try to do it again and lock everybody down, it wouldn't work. What they're actually trying to do is like it's money, it's profit. Push people that are on the margins to go and continue to get their boosters. Oh. Right, you have to have a certain level of fear for that reason.
Yeah, big pharma profits are down.
Exactly. So I agree. I don't think they'll do the medical lockdowns again.
Yeah,
but they're pushing it for a reason, and in my opinion, it's profit. Very
100%. Like, let's be honest. It's all profit. It's all money driven. This is all money driven. This is all control driven. This is all power. It all comes down to power, right? When you have a lot of money, you have control and power. When you have some sort of control, you have power. It's all comes down to who's in power.
Yeah, I was thinking of a good analogy. There's, you always see the pyramids, and people always say, how do they build these pyramids? Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like people theorize that aliens built them because the stones are so massive. Like, how do they do this? And people, the reality is it was probably millions and millions of slaves that were under the control of the pharaoh, whatever the case is. And I kind of likened it to today's society. I'm like, it's not that much different than now.
No.
It's just like we have the illusion of freedom, but it's really like the few people at the top. Mm-hmm. We are basically running society at the lowest levels, right? Yeah. Functioning. You got your teachers, you've got your border people to secure the border. You've got your police officers, you got your firefighters, you've got your mill workers that are whatever, miners. And at the top, you just have people kind of just pulling the strings, and they're incredibly wealthy. They don't really do any of the work. They're just focused on control.
You want to know how the pyramids got built? Take a look at what ants are capable of doing.
Great point.
Like, for real, when you have millions of ants, seriously, you take millions of ants. Okay, fine. I know they're like 800 times more strong than humans. Whatever the fuck. Okay, but at the end of the day, we're more capable in terms of our brain power. Yeah. Okay. But take a look at what ants are capable of doing. You get millions of people in a society like that, or even hundreds of thousands of people, they can move a fucking rock.
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can move a fucking rock. You ever see the size of like anthills that ants can build? Mm-hmm. Like, you ever see some of them motherfuckers, and you see how intricate those tunnels are and all that system is, and their actual hierarchy of their of the ant society. Yeah. Like, it's no different. It's the same shit. Like, take a look at what they can do.
Yeah.
It's no different.
And it's the same functioning there. You have the queen ant or whatever it is, and everybody else is just running around.
Worker ants, and hey, they're doing whatever.
Exactly. So it really is, I liken it to modern day slavery. Like,
sure.
The middle class wage earner is likened to modern day slave, and they keep you enslaved by devaluing the currency continuously so that you can't save your way out of slavery.
Do you think that that's purposely? Do you think that that's done by,
whether or not it's purposeful? It's a result or a function of one of the most powerful things that a leader has in their arsenal is the ability to print money. It's so powerful. It allows them to do anything. It allows them to buy people off. It allows them to buy votes. It allows them to control every institution. Oh, you're a university? You're the CEO of the university? We've got a grant dangling over your head here for $5 million, and you can take $1 million of that, but you better put this in the curriculum. We want to teach the people this. So you can just you can control everybody with it's basically socialism.